This is Dave at Code 6 Customs. You've either found this video by fumbling around on the internet and you stumbled on it, or I sent you here because you're a customer interested in antique mods. Antique mods are where I take an antique pocket watch movement and I put them in a modern stainless steel case as a wristwatch. There are a couple variations that I'll talk about real quick. Resto mods will be where I take an antique pocket watch movement and I put it in a period correct case. Not necessarily the original case to the watch, but a period correct case as it would have been built in the early 1900s. Then there are trench mods, and trench mods are where I take a antique pocket watch movement and I put it either in a period correct trench watch case or a reissued Depollier trench watch case. Just going to briefly touch on those, and then we're going to talk about the antique mods. So the antique mods are where I take antique pocket watch movements and I have a manufacturer that makes cases specifically designed for them. So I do them in several different sizes. They all use the exhibition backs, but this is the 36 millimeter case that I use. It's just a beautiful kind of simple case. The exhibition back, you'll see the movement, the damascening. That's the real star of the show. But the 36 millimeter case is a really nice size. I've had ladies buy them. I've had gentlemen buy them that prefer smaller watches. And that is the 36 millimeter size. The 40 millimeter is where the majority of my business comes from. And this is my personal watch. That's a custom dial, but this is an 1891 Waltham. My 40 millimeter case is ribbed on the sides. It's a really kind of antique looking design, but in a modern stainless case. You'll also have the exhibition case back on this to show the movement. So this is the typical 40 millimeter, and that is the case I use. If you move up to a 44 millimeter, if I have a 44 millimeter with the crown in the 3 o'clock position, it is this identical case but larger. So that is the 40 millimeter and the 44 millimeter crown at 3 case. The largest ones are going to be 44 millimeter with the crown at 12, and these come with articulating lugs. So the case is also ribbed. The lugs are articulating because you have to get to that stem, the crown and stem. So again, these are 44 millimeters, specifically designed for pocket watch movements. And they have the exhibition case backs. And these tend to wear really big. Either have to have a real big wrist, or you like a real big watch. But actually, I'll show you that one on my, I'll show you all of these on my 7.5 inch wrist. So this is the 44 millimeter with the crown at 12, articulating lugs on a 7.5 inch wrist. This is a 40 millimeter fixed lugs on the same 7.5 inch wrist. That's a really nice size. That wears very well. And this is a 36 millimeter on a 7.5 inch wrist. And this is even a good size. But it's a little more versatile. If you're a smaller wristed gentleman or if you're a woman, you could do that. But even with my 7.5 inch wrist, that's a nice size. So there's some things you need to know about these before you buy them. Antique and vintage movements do not belong as daily wear watches. Those that know antique and vintage movements know this stuff already, but the antique pocket watch movements are not as accurate, reliable, durable, resilient. They're not as any of that as modern watches are. These designs were from over 100 years ago. There is no shock protection to these watches. They are as is, because they were originally meant to be in a pocket watch case, sitting safely in somebody's pocket with a chain attached. So if they drop it, it doesn't hit the ground. As a wristwatch, you are prone to banging into things, especially with a daily wear watch. There's no shock protection in these watches. In addition to that, regardless of preparation, 100 to 125-year-old watches will have some idiosyncrasies. They're not going to run as accurately. They may run up to 4 or 5 minutes a day, fast or slow. They may need a tap every once in a while to keep them going. You may need to gently shake them. They're not going to be good as daily wear watches. Daily wear watch would be like that Breitling. Shock protected. It can take a hit. It can be dropped, and most likely it will still operate. But the antique ones will not. So it is important for the buyer to be aware that they are not meant to be daily wear watches, and they are not meant to withstand abuse of any kind. They're more like show pieces, collector pieces. And if you want to get some of these, it's Instagram at C6C Watches. Appreciate the support.